joined by two wonderful individuals that love the sport of football, Bill Johnson and David Lowe. MMFA President David Lowe is special guest, Bill Johnson, Executive Director of Football Manitoba. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for taking the time. Let's start with you, Mr. Bill Johnson. How have you been over the last month? Tell us how the office is running or lack thereof.
Well, we've been home for about a month now, working from home. We're still working away, trying to make sure that football is moving forward in this difficult time while everyone is social distancing. So we're doing what we can to keep things going.
David, yourself, tell me what's been changed over your world over the last month.
Well, my business world is kind of being turned upside down. The president role of the MMFA is a volunteer role that I take on. So we're just we're trying to get ourselves in the best position for when we do come out of this, so that we can have both feet on the ground and run in full steam ahead.
Let me ask both of you the same question. Let's start with you, David, because you hit the nail on the head. When it comes time to hit the ball rolling, get running full speed ahead, what is it that we're doing to make sure we're ready, aim, and go for that time?
Well, with us, early May is when we start our in-person registration. We've just announced to all our clubs and parents and et cetera that we're going to be pushing that back, obviously. But what we're going to ensure for ourselves and our 14 affiliate clubs is that once the announcements are made that we will be in fact able to play a 2020 MFA season, that we get registration back online, which would be through Football Manitoba. We speak with all the clubs to get probably a week after we get the AOK to do online in-person registration. And then we take a look at where we're at. Are we talking about, are we in June? Are we in July? And we make the adjustments that we need to make from there.
Bill, yourself, what kind of announcements, or what kind of, we've got flag football that's obviously a bit of a standstill because it's supposed to be starting up fairly soon.
Yeah, it's supposed to start at the end of this month. Obviously, we've postponed that. We haven't canceled anything to this point. We're still hoping that we can sandwich in a whole bunch of activity in a short time when things get rolling here again in the province, in the country. So I've had a lot of conversations with our leagues. We've looked at flag. I've had conversations with David regarding the MMFA, conversations with a group out of Thunder Bay who's looking to do the same thing and get rolling. And we're all working together to be creative and find ways to make this work. It's nice to work with the MMFA, as an example, has already had some experience with being flexible. They've changed the number of people as the needs in the community have changed. They've changed some of the aspects of the game, and it's worked. It's been successful for them. So it's nice to know that they have that flexibility built in, and as David said, we can hit the ground running when the time comes.
So when we talk about flag, for example, it's a smaller group on the field, sevens, smaller groups than that for the kids. Dave, for yourself, is there an opportunity, if there's restrictions perhaps where you can't have 12 aside? Are we looking to make smaller teams available or changing that up, or is there some sort of a game plan for a plan B for this season, or are we still hoping to have a full rostered season for 2020?
Well, one thing that the MMFA has been really good at is looking and working outside the box. We have 6-person, 7-person, 9-person, and 12-person leagues last year. So to say that 6, 7 are what you would deem to be normal for football probably wouldn't be the case. So I would say that our past success, which is really looking to get as many boys and girls onto the field at once, participating, will kind of put us one step ahead for this year. Because if we are looking at the fact that there are some restrictions that you can't have a full 12-person game, 12 on 12, we already have some history that we've been very successful at being creative, as you could say.
Well, that's great news. For both of you gentlemen, what do you expect when, we can't say for certain what's going to happen when these restrictions become uplifted, but we all want to see football. We want to see football now. We want to see it soon. What can the players do so that they're game ready, so they're ready and they're in good shape when it comes time to hit the field?
Well, I think it's important that people stay active, and it's sometimes it's as simple as just getting out, taking a walk. Sometimes it's finding a reason to get in your backyard and play catch with your brother, your sister, mom and dad, whoever it is, whoever's around. But stay active and keep doing the things you got to do, and stay engaged.
David, have the 14 groups you've talked about, have they started to give information to their past players and working with them to make sure that they have the resources available?
With the online digital age that we do live in, and the accessibility to parents via email or text messaging, I would say that all our clubs have been communicating quite well with all their past players to ensure that they're fully aware of the fact that we're not just sitting around and waiting for information to come out, that we're looking at all the different scenarios. And the nice thing about having the 14 different clubs is you have 14 different ideas coming from maybe 96 different people. So it's really, it's great knowledge to be able to delve into in these sorts of situations.
It's fabulous. We'll take a quick break right now, gentlemen. We'll come right back. We'll talk about more updates that we're doing from the Football Manitoba side as well as from the MMFA. We'll be right back. Both David and Bill for joining me. We'll talk now with regards to any other updates that you'd like to make aware to the football community here in Manitoba. Let's start with you, Bill.
Well, one of the things that we're actually working on right now through Football Manitoba is a speaker series. We're going to have people come in and talk on a variety of different topics, obviously virtually through the Zoom platform that we've been using. We're doing officials training for flag officials right now. We're doing all kinds of coach sessions still happening. And once this speaker series is unveiled, I think there'll be a little something for everyone in the football community to try and, as David said, hit the ground running. So if a coach needs a certification, they can get it. If they just want to learn how to coach plays from one of the top coaches in the province, this is one of the sessions we'll be offering. So those sorts of things will be available very soon.
Fabulous. And David, for yourself, outside of the announcement you just made, is there anything else you'd like to make aware to the MMFA community?
Well, just to make sure to stay in touch with their local clubs. Also to look for the updates coming from the Football Manitoba side and also from the MMFA, that we're going to ensure that there are no surprises, that when we do get in the situation that we're raring to go, that it's not a shock to anybody, that they understand what we're going to try to do. And if that's a shortened season or whatever it may be, we want to ensure that all our parents and our kids are fully aware of what our plans are going to be.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question to you gentlemen both. You're sitting at home. You're part of your respected NFL teams. Who are you drafting first in the first round? If you had the first pick overall.
Well, that's
Joe Burrow was there.
That's difficult. I'm an Oakland Raiders fan, so unfortunately, it doesn't really matter who we draft. We'll find a way of turning them into a disaster. So I'm not going to pick a certain individual because, unfortunately, unless you can take about the first 24 picks for the new Las Vegas Raiders, I don't think it's going to help them very much.
I think the only thing that's going to help Las Vegas Raiders is that beautiful stadium. Once people get into it, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Correct.
And you said Chucky's got a lot of work to do, but if you had to pick one position, David, which position would you be looking at?
Well, you always look at the quarterback position because they want to say that that's the brains of the operation. Now, Bill might argue with me. His son is a center, so he, as Bill always says, that the center is actually the only one that touches the ball in every play. So maybe we got to start looking at the offensive line and build from there.
Very well, Bill. Yourself, would you pick a center?
No, I'm going to go quarterback, and I'm going to take Chris Strevler, not because he's maybe the best player in the league, but we'd have a heck of a good time.
Oh, I tell you, with his Instagram and his discussions with his grandmother, I think the Hall of Fame down on the first floor, once it reopens, should be putting in a bid for that fur coat. That should be hanging up somewhere down there. That's a gem. Maybe it gets laundered first because it might have a couple of animals or fleas or something on it, but who knows? It's got a good stench to it, that's for sure. Gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for joining me. Definitely Football Manitoba.com is the website to check out if you are involved in flag football, tackle football, any of the divisions of the community groups, the 14 of them. Lot of information there will keep you up to minute. When these two gentlemen know, they will make it available. I'm pretty sure on that one. Correct, boys?
For sure.
Right on. David Lowe, MMFA, volunteer president. I was unaware that it was a volunteer position. Thank you very much for that. And, of course, Mr. Bill Johnson, we get to do this every month. Thank you again for your time. This has been Inside the Huddle on ASTV.